Hello, my name is Valentina Medel and my topic is number 12. Is it true that people don't learn from the past? What about Chileans? In the first place, I don't think so, since people do learn from the past, even though it may seem that they don't. However, what doesn't change is human nature. And the Chilean case is representative of this. Some people say that human is the only animal that makes the same mistake more than once. That's how nature works. My first argument is that if certain undesirable or unlucky historical and personal events hadn't happened in the past, the present as we know it nowadays wouldn't exist. Thus, what is harvested from what has been learned through past mistakes eventually turns into either social progress or individual growth. We were committing many atrocities in the past. The Nazi Holocaust, slavery period, wars, sexism, homophobia, and so on. But we have learned, I want to believe. A proof of that is the movements that we have nowadays. Feminist movement, the well-known Black Lives Matter movement, LGBTQ plus community activism, and so on. On a personal level, if I had known before the things that I know now, I wouldn't have done some of the things that I did. We all grow from our own past and we try to become better people. As Walt Disney said once in an interview, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. My second argument is that if one reviews the historical past of Chile, it seems that both the government and citizens haven't learned from the past. Nevertheless, what actually happens is that there is a small, ultra-powerful group that is manipulating the country in order to preserve their own wealth and power position, to preserve the status quo. Our current president, unfortunately, Sebastián Piñera, who was already president between 2010 and 2015, was re-elected in 2018. He is a billionaire, a very powerful man, and a thief. But the huge mistake here is that the military dictatorship was repeated during his government. It all started out in October with a public transport fare hike. But if they hadn't imposed the public transport fare hike, the Chilean social explosion would have taken place later anyway. It was just the straw that broke the camel's back. It's not 30 pesos, it's 30 years, as the protesters stated. According to a New York Times article, there is a general discontent at low salaries, high costs of healthcare, education, depictable retirement pensions, and a huge difference between lower and upper class. So the response of the government to the protest was state-sponsored tortures, political repression, crimes against humanity, a curfew, and so on. The same that happened during Pinochet government. As Rita Mae Brown said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's why a new constitution is needed. As a conclusion, I think that individuals do learn from the past. That's what we call to mature. And that's why the elders are wiser than younger people most of the time. Something similar happens to humankind, but the process is slower. History is repetitive not only because people don't learn from the past, rather because human nature doesn't change. As Unabomber said, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Learning without failing is almost impossible. And as a society, we have to remain memories in our minds in order to avoid future mistakes. I hope in the future we will be reacting different to certain situations.